Hello loves, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the new moon in Aries that's happening on March 21st 2023 collectively. So this is going to be the collective messages. We do have some tarot and oracle cards that we already pulled out as well, but this is going to be the astrology breakdown first. Before we get started though, do not forget to get your tickets to the spring equinox celebration that we're having on Tuesday, on the 21st. It's going to be a really fun time. I can't wait to hold space and just very much a year ahead workings. We're gonna have a meditation. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff. So definitely make sure that you get your tickets. The link will be down below. And as always, if you're a Patreon member, High Priestess level, you will automatically have tickets. Also, the new workbook is going to be posted soon. So keep an eye out. I'm going to post a link when it's available. Also, do not forget on Tuesday is the last day to use the code SPRING 2023, which gives you 22% off all of my services. It's a little bit of a spring. Oh my God, I'm so happy that spring is already here. A spring equinox celebration. So definitely make sure you take advantage. And do not forget that I just added dates for the Akashic Records 5-hour intensive. So if you wanted to take the course, it is now, there's 2 new dates, and I also am doing the 13 octave Lahu Chi energy healing certifications as well. We're going to start with small groups. It's going to be 2 dates that are early bird dates that are just small groups before we go full blown bigger groups in the fall. So definitely make sure that if you are interested in joining, feel free to come through. I'm going to be making a separate video on it to talk about 13 octave Lahu Chi a little bit more, but you guys will get that soon as well. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to jump in because we have a lot to discuss. So when it comes to this particular new moon, the planetary positions, because you guys know we always start with the planetary positions, it's because I want you guys to know where the planets are, what they doing, right? So the sun will be in Aries, moon will be in Aries, Mercury will be in Aries. Okay, so right there we already have a Pisces, an Aries stellium. Venus will be in Taurus, Mars will be in Gemini, Jupiter will be in Aries, Saturn will be in Pisces, Uranus will be in Taurus, Neptune will be in Pisces, and Pluto will still be in Capricorn. So Pluto is going to move into Aquarius on the 23rd of March. I will be making a video on it. You guys will get that as well, probably tomorrow. That way you know what's coming ahead. We're going to talk about it anyway. We have lots to discuss, astrologically speaking. Anywho, so starting with this amazingly powerful new year, because we are in a new astrological year. The spring equinox and Aries season launches and pushes us into the new astrological year. We have a sun in conjunction to the moon, a sun in conjunction to Mercury, a sun in conjunction to also Neptune as well, because we do have a lot of this fire energy going on. There is still, especially the messages that came through with tarot, there's still a lot that was unearthed and has been unearthed through Pisces season that will be coming up to the surface in Aries season. The way, especially with all of the conjunctions and with the stellium that's happening in Aries, the way that the planets are working together is very, very supportive for very quick, decisive change. Very quick, like, I've made up my mind change. So if you kind of are feeling like, you know what, I'm going to say something, you know what, this needed to be done, you know what, I'm ripping the band-aid full on. Yeah. Welcome to the spring equinox. Welcome to Aries energy. Hello. It's definitely going to be very potent for action, especially because sun is squaring Mars. Okay, sun is squaring Mars, and you guys know I always like to break down these two's relationship to each other. And I like to explain it in this way. While the sun is your willpower and is your ego, Mars is how you actualize that will. Okay, so you might want to do something a certain way, but the way it is actually ends up being done, that action comes from your Mars sign. So a lot of the time, sometimes when you see discontent, like, oh, it looked better in your head, there's like a misalignment there with like your ego, your willpower, how you will it right up here, but then the way that it actualizes is not necessarily fully there. So with the sun square Mars, there's definitely going to be you said what you wanted was this, but then what you did, like the actions did not match the words, right? So there's a lot of that kind of checking people like, okay, well, words are cheap. well, you said this, but then you did that. It definitely is going to lead to some, a little bit of a collective, some chaos. Some people might choose to kind of like close some chapters with people, and, you know, start a new journey. Okay. Some relationships are definitely, whether it's family, friends, love relationships, are coming to a close due to actions that were either a lack of, or actions that were done that were not done consciously. Like the will was not good, like it was ill-intended. That's really the way that that is coming out. And so there is this, especially with the sun in conjunction to Neptune, there is this like, your intuition already showed you the truth, your intuition. And this is also coming up in the bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck is the moon, the page of swords, and the 5 of wands. Like the way it's coming up is like your intuition told you, it been told you, and now you're like, you know what, I had a feeling, and now it's just kind of all coming to the surface a little bit. It's not going to be necessarily fun to end certain friendships or kind of have to deal with that, but there are necessary closures that are happening as well. The moon will also be in conjunction to Mercury, so a lot of the things that you are intuitively feeling to say, especially because Aries is very bold, okay? Aries gets to the point. It doesn't sugarcoat words. So with the energy being very fiery in that way, some of the things that we're saying might be very blunt, might be very, I said what I said, might feel like, you know what, I'm not regretting what I'm saying. I'm not going to apologize for it because this is my truth. Like there's a lot of standing in your power, standing in your truth, standing in the words that you're saying, energy, and kind of sitting like really 10 toes deep in it, like, nope, that's what I said, and I meant what I said. There is a feeling, especially because Aries is connected to that energy of war, with Mars, right? Mars is the planet of war, passion, drive, moving into a very passionate season, especially because the sun is exalted in Aries. The sun does a lot. It creates a lot of change through Aries season, and it's for collective good, but there's a lot that gets done. And the spring cleaning happens quickly. So you might literally be doing a whole entire like spring cleaning of your friends, your social media, like feeling like you have to let go of certain things. Like it might just literally be like, I don't need that anymore. And that happens for a reason, because of that, very much that Aries energy coming through. The moon will also be in a square with Mars. So intuitively, we're definitely like, you know what? What's up? Why? Like we're very, you might be feeling a little bit more blunt, a little bit more like, this needed to be said, a little bit more like I can't take anymore. There's definitely a sense of needing to like stand up for yourself, but also be grounded within yourself and like what you're taking, what you're not taking. It definitely can feel like there's a lot of tension between people as well, like unfinished business, like, you know what, yeah, I have to talk to you because the elephant is literally in the room and I'm tired of it being there. So there's that energy of like bold, blunt, ruthless communication. Like it needed to be said. Be very mindful of trying to win a war or a battle. Understand what your intent and your focus is. Don't try to, you know, force people to think or feel the way you do. They might think that they didn't do anything wrong, so keep that in mind. Communicate your feelings, but do it in a way that it's like you're able to empower yourself through the process without feeling like you're going to regret the way you spoke later on. So just make sure you're like in alignment with that. Venus will be in a square with Pluto. Okay, there are certain things, the way that energy can come to pass is very, especially if there's like a break of illusion, especially if there's something that you've been very grounded in, or that at one time made you really happy or brought you so much pleasure, but now it's like the lesson of the relationship, the lesson of the connection, the lesson itself is coming full blunt force in your face, like, this is it. This is what you needed to learn. Like, I came in, I drew you in, we connected, we had fun, we had laughs, but then I hit you with the deeper purpose. And it's an emotional one. It might feel like you're going through a lot. It might feel like the way that it's hitting you, it's almost like, oh, something so important gets almost like transmuted into something completely different. And now you have to release that thing that you care so much about. It's a process, and it definitely might not always feel so great. But there's definitely a huge intensity of love and hate and pleasure. And if there's displeasure, it's felt so intensely. And if there's like an argument that leads to a separation, which is very much okay, if there's an argument that leads to a separation, there's this kind of, there's a breakdown of, you know, I can't do this anymore, or you know what, it hits that breaking point where it just cannot continue. There's definitely also there's an emphasis on sacral trauma, okay, as well. So keep that in mind. You might be very triggered by certain things that are happening from the past as well. And also, when it comes to like karmic relationships and stuff like that, you might be going through past life issues as well. And kind of the disharmony that's happening, really highlighting the issue at the core of the trauma. Highly recommend past life work. If you have not started it, highly recommend it. Mars will be in a trine with Saturn, and Mars will be in a square with Neptune. Okay, so if you're going to do any type of spiritual working, make sure you're incorporating the element of fire. You're going to need to. Like, this is not up for debate. You should be working fire magic. You can do candle magic. You can like do fire purification. You can do so many things, but you have to be working with the element of fire. Mars in a trine with Saturn. Oh my God. There's definitely a bit of grounding with the actions and intentions that we're really highlighting for this day. So be very mindful of the things that you say, you know what, I'm setting intention for this, I'm setting intention for that, because those things have there's a grounding effect to it, especially in Aries season, where the sun is exalted in Aries, where the energy is super high, super potent, super maximized. Like the energy, it needs to be directed and going somewhere. Like if you say you're going to do something during this new moon, you better put in the effort of doing it, because that Mars trine Saturn's going to check you later, especially later in the year. Like, oh, didn't you say you were going to do this? Have you been doing it? You haven't. When are you going to do it? Right. So make sure that you are being consistent. If you are going to set intention for something under this new moon, it has to be something that you don't just tuck away and just be like, oh, I'm working on it subconsciously. No, you actually have to put the fire in. That includes your actions. That includes, you know, you put it in the effort and half in, so that, you know, the other half, Spirit brings in the other half, the doors get open for you because you've also been doing that legwork. Okay, make sure, like, Aries is not a lazy sign. It's not. So you have to give effort. Effort is needed. So, but candle work, like, make sure you're also doing a really cute cleanse, whether it's by air or water, but it's definitely necessary. Okay, now let's look at the cards. So when it comes to the cards, we have the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and then we have the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Queen of Wands. So when it comes to the cards, there's definitely a lot going on, and there's definitely certain things that you're still navigating. Some of you might change your mind about things that you wanted in the past or set intention for in the past, whether it was a relationship with someone that, you know, now you have to separate from, or whether it was like a longevity thing, like with them, like you wanted to go to the next step in your relationship or whatnot. And this could be with career as well. You might change your mind about wanting that promotion, and you might want something different. You might literally have a whole 360 about something that you've been putting effort in, but it just feels like it's going in a separate direction. Your intuition is also going to be very heightened during this time. There is a little bit of discontent of not really, like, the things that you're not liking about where you're at is going to push you into action towards the things that, you know, realigning yourself for the year. So that is the good thing that's coming out of it. The not so great things is the collective, is the social part. There are certain things that are happening socially that are not so great. Certain, you know, truths that are coming out. There's also this energy of jealousy. We're going to look at the oracle cards because it's definitely coming up in here. So we have shift. Okay. We have grounded. Okay. We have friendship. We have truth. Psychic. And good fortune. Okay, so the energy is very, there's this kind of like, as you're trying to really get grounded, get comfortable, and really be clear about what you're saying, your truth, really coming into also some luck, because there's gonna be some doors that start opening again. Aries season, things just start moving. It's energy, it moves very, very quickly. As things are moving, certain people will be shifted out. They just will be. Even if you look at the other cards, we have jealousy and grudge. We have awakening and transcendence. Like, some people are actually figuring out, like, oh, this person did not have my best interest at heart. This person was not. It's like, I can't be close with this person anymore. We also have argument and power struggle. Like, there's definitely something happening as we're connecting. Like, certain people are getting exited out. We have hope, an idea, like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. There is this essence of hope, because there's a little bit, there's that grounding there, like, oh, I have things to do. I know my path. I know what I gotta do, right? We have journey, branch out to new worlds. There's that energy of Aries coming through, really like saying, you know what, I got stuff to do. I really got stuff to do. I gotta do them. We got surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is undisturbed garden. Okay, because there are, like, especially with this, the card underneath the moon is the Tower card. So trust and believe. Certain things are going to come out of left field, and you're going to be like, wait, I was focusing on this, and now I got to talk to you. Like, it's going to feel like that. Then we have cleanse, wash your weary spirit, and clean, and take a walk in the wooded glades. I said it wrong. And the light, look for the space between the trees for answers. Definitely cleanse, do a spiritual bath, and then work your candle magic. I can't stress that enough. This is also a great time to, especially on the new moon, to bless your home. I know it's not the beginning of the month yet, but for the new year, please bless your home. Do like a really nice home blessing, and set the vibe, set the tone for the rest of the year. Trust and believe, you will need it. But yeah, those are the messages that I'm getting, my loves. Thank you so much for being here, for watching. I will definitely see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.